How's it going, everybody? I know a lot of you guys are doing fantastic and getting in a lot of commercial real estate because you're burying me with business, and I love that because I love to be busy and work deals and get people into commercial real estate. I don't think everybody realizes that once you get past the gatekeeper, you tell them you're gonna buy the rest of their stuff if they're a realtor, if they can work with you, and they just get along with you and then let you get a hold of the seller, and he's a little bit cooperative. The seller's going to make more money because you're going to have him carry back a little bit versus somebody that walks in and pays cash that just gets ripped off and pays full price. It's going to sit on the market longer, and if they're doing financing, the underwriter's going to knock it down anyway. So they might as well cut to the chase, let you cut a deal with the seller, as in him being cooperative and maybe carrying back a little bit of money, maybe none if we work it right, allowing you to get some cash out and get in the property. That is the real key. I mean, at any point, I mean, you can start sending out LOIs now. You can even offer them full price because by the time we get everything back, like income statement, balance sheet, or the Schedule K off the tax returns, or if it's in New York, the income and expense from the Division of Housing, or we validate it off their real tax transcripts, or we validate it off of other methods, whatever. We're going to get to the real numbers and close the deal and make a win-win situation and do it fast and get it done, whereas other people are going to take longer and not be able to close it because the underwriter's going to kill it, or if it's a person that just doesn't know much, which is maybe several of them out there, going to take 90 days. So by the time 90 days is up, we already bought that one and everything in their portfolio and just keep going. The point is, in order for you to do this, I mean, a lot of you are doing fantastic and you're killing it and you're getting deals done and we're getting deals closed and going. You would just have to get your LOI going, start the communication, look for the key things like for sale by owner, owner finance, assumable loan. Those are the key ones. Find those first, and then find all the ones with realtors, and then you want to go straight directly to like the ones in your area that are like, you know, up to 100 units, whatever, where you know it's like a seller owner occupied small corporation or whatever, not large corporation that takes a lot of people to make decisions. Get your LOIs out and get the negotiation going. Hire me, and I will literally be on the phone with the seller and the realtor or whatever and close the deal. All the realtors are going to be a gatekeeper and keep you from getting into the property. They're going to want to know how many deals you've done in the past, blah, 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 blah. Just stick to the game plan and closing the deal. Don't get sidetracked. Don't get stuck in the job interview. Focus on it. Get the key thing going, and then we'll close the deal. So, ideally properties of 5 years to 20 years and up to, 50 to 100 units or more within the $20 million range. Everything's possible. The money's coming from private money or hard money, can go up to 65 LTV or all the way up to 80% LTV. It takes a little longer that way. But who cares? We're going to stretch the deal, get them closed, and get them going and get it on to the next one. Most people struggling with their job and doing hard work versus doing this, which is not hard. This is focusing your mind on the capacity of strategically closing things and being very smart in how you do it. All these other classes and all the people on the internet doing commercial real estate, and they're teaching consumer level, buy this, get ripped off here and there, and they don't even know it. I have like decades of underwriting experience and closing loans and trained loan officers and doing deals from United States to other countries and like all types of commercial loans to private money. So I know how things work and I know how the system plays together and how you can put the pieces together. So when you deal with the realtor or the seller and everything, we can maneuver through the commercial real estate market and then get you on a level that no other, I haven't seen anybody that has this capacity on the internet. I know when I learned this from my mentors that were like early on in New York, they were all, and my private money guy that I hired all these people to show me, they're like the richest people in America, but you've never heard of them. They're not putting books out. They're not putting anything on the internet. They just want to be under the radar, unknown, and not, I mean, have attention, because the way they close deals is the way I learned how to close deals, and that's how I learned how to do it, and that's how I got all this real estate under my name. And now, since things happen to me the way they did in my life, I'm transferring this knowledge to you guys. I'm going to make the money off the funding versus owning everything, and get you guys in the properties. It may look hard, but reality is what's hard is what you're doing, and that's being broke, not making big money, and not having money to solve your problems. Hard is going through college and doing all those other things, and then doing the same repetitive cycle. So focus your mind on getting from point A to B, and that means you got to control your mind, as in cut out the music, because 99% of it's evil anyways, the TV, the news, drama, negativity, people that aren't going to help your cause or help your future, your goals. Get rid of all that stuff, ignore everything, and focus. Build your relationships with these realtors. I mean, yeah, I say some of them, yeah, they're not really helpful, but they can be helpful. And if you find an off-market realtor that finds off-market properties, or you could be that person and have a double win and just go to the apartments around your area, find the ones that are a little run down, the for rent signs, whatever, or the ones that have all the cars in the parking lot during the week, because you know they're not paying rent. Contact the owner, which he's probably directly at the end of the phone number that calls, or the landlord probably, or the manager is probably there in the office, while the landlord, the owner of the building, is like, 2 apartments down from the leasing office. And a lot of your older ones are in that scenario because they bought them and they didn't get cash out, and then they're doing all the work on the things. So when you see the rundown and the cars in the parking lot, and you're calling the manager, you're directly connected to the seller, because the seller is only a couple units down and living there. That's like most of your apartments between 1 to, I don't know, the units of like 50 to 60, 70 units. Even up to 200 unit owner is normally an older person that may own several, but they're burnt out, especially if they got people that are not paying rent and all that stuff. In New York is covered with people not paying rent. You got Midwest, you got North Dakota, you got all over. You could look it up on that internet I showed you. These are tons of places right now that have people not paying rent. You don't want to pay full price, but you would pay full price if there's one that would fit the scenario. But normally you're going to double your money by looking for a property that's not normally, it can be, if they're saying 100% occupied right now, most of the time that's not truthful. But you want to find a property you can double your money, so you get the cash out on the beginning. So if you have cash out and you're doing domino effect, so you start closing deals once a week and all your money's doubling on every deal, like within a year normally, maybe a year and a half, plus you're buying one a week, you're turning into a multi-millionaire within the first deal. So by the time 3 years out, you're in the billions. Literally. Half a billion to a billion pretty quickly. The strategy and the structure, the way I'm doing it is the way, well, several people, a handful of people have done this and make a lot of money. And you're doing that type of money. And that's not counting the lateral conversion. If you're taking an apartment, change to a condo, or your condo changing it to apartments, or a condo and you're changing it to any type of different type of version or use, or a motel to apartment. All this is, I'm just going over the same thing I've been going over in the videos, is that go ahead and start sending out the LOIs. You don't have to concentrate about how much down payment or how much cash you're going to put up for earnest money. Skip that. Just get to the point. You might want to make your LOI look a little more professional by getting yourself a professional email and a professional website like XYZ Investor, blah, blah, blah. Or just go straight for it and start making it happen. The only other thing other than that is once they start the negotiation, or they want to validate that you got proof of funds or whatever, you're going to have to hire me at some point so I can get them on your side, or I can get the deal done and structure it. And like if they want to call and verify if you got proof of funds or pre-approval, I'll do that, verify it all, or give you the credibility and everything, or just deal with them and get it structured and get it submitted and get the loan closed. So success really is, 99% is aggressive perspiration and getting to work, and 1% knowledge. But that bit of knowledge you do need to know is so critical, and you're going to start learning as you go and start making more money by each deal you close. So this is just the beginning. So once you have one, and then we can spread out and go to higher limits and do more things, like diversify and spread out in the commercial real estate realm, or get even more properties. But it's pretty easy to get 100 million in apartments, then up to 500 million. You should be able to do that all in a year, maybe year and a half. That's kind of slow. But if you're learning curve and you're aggressive and you're pushing it, you got a business mind, you're a man or woman, and you just can make things happen, then this is the business to do it in. You just have to kind of go out and do it and kick the LOIs out. Don't make the LOIs like a giant ordeal. It's really just get your foot in the door, and you don't even need the LOI. You just got to get the realtor on your side or the seller, and then say, hey man, I could get you basically what you want for the price. You want to say that at the beginning. I just want you to I want to know if you want to cooperate with me. If you want to cooperate with me, I'm going to work with you to get you the price you want. I may need a little assistance on a small seller carryback, but I'll give you more money for it. But if we can come to agreement on what the real value is and the real income is, like if you provide me this information, like your tax returns, income statement, all these legit things, I can go off the real numbers, then we come up with a real price and we'll close this thing. And if your numbers are lower and your rent's a little lower and you don't have people paying rent, or the occupancy is a little lower, hey, that's cool. It doesn't really matter. What matters is I'm willing to maybe pay more off the real numbers versus go off the fake numbers and just pay more and get ripped off and then get in the deal. But you're going to win ahead of time because you're going to get cash out in the very beginning. We're going to structure it where the numbers are cash flowing and you're making money out the beginning and you're making a smart move. Now, anybody can go out and buy everything in sight at full price and then later on have a little dip in the economy, dip in the market or something. And then, see, the thing is with commercial real estate and buying anything, anybody can buy everything in sight, but you could look rich and make a lot of money and be going broke at the same time because your numbers suck. And that happens in every industry, every business, and that's why you got tons of retailers and all these huge businesses. They're making bank, but they're going broke because they're not structuring or doing it smart, and your output is bigger than your input. So when we get in, you'll have the cash in the pocket, the cash flow is going to work, and everything's going to fall into place in the numbers. And the guy, if the numbers are lower, which a lot of times they are, we'll get to the real point and we'll structure it to where, hey, worst case, we'll make it where he doesn't make a payment. You don't make a payment on the second mortgage that he's carrying for maybe 12 months, whatever. We got all the cash out up front, or maybe I would say he carries a second for 2 years, maybe 3 years. You got the price he wanted built into the loan and the transaction over the period of time for it to get to that price, plus the price of a profit that you will make on it at that point by increasing the rent, increasing the occupancy, and doing creativity. Creativity is your cash. Creativity is your way to be super rich. The super rich have super solutions. That is the brain. They are smarter. The average normal person is not very smart, and if you go in and buy things with other people's money and you're paying full price, or you start a business and people are just throwing money at you left and right, and you never made it through the hardship of figuring out what will work and take advantage of the tools that you do have, like the lottery winners, they always go broke because they don't have the business mind and they have no way to compensate for self-discipline and ability and confidence to turn anything around. But if you start out at the bottom with no money and you buy things like you have no money and you structure it right with no money, you will never be broke and you'll always have more money than the person with a lot of money, because you start out this way and you're never going to fail, because everything you buy from that day forward is all profit that day, and the next day you're going to act like you're poor again and you can do it again. So when you have this giant mansion of an empire, every little brick is a solid, hardcore, non-breakable brick in your fortress of success. But if you don't make that and you don't get from point A to B, you're never going to have anything but be an employee, and you're just going to go bouncing around from place to place to place. But so you have all these opportunities from Loopnet. I mean, I don't really like Loopnet that hot. It's not one of my favorite places at all. I mean, you can find it on Crixie, Zillow. A lot of apartments and things are on there because the people don't want to. They're not the smartest sellers, because the smarter ones be on Crixie and Loopnet and all that stuff. But the Zillow apartment owners tell you right off the bat, if they're on Zillow, they're kind of lazy and they're doing the easy way and they're not computer savvy, so they're more open in negotiation. So, but there's not as many on Zillow, but and there's tons more that aren't even on the internet at all. They got the cheap handwritten signs or the cheap signs, whatever, and you can tell when you drive by to see the properties. Everything about success and making a lot of money is about you putting in the effort. And it doesn't really pay off until you put in all the effort, and you just have to go on the fact that you know it's going to pay off. And you won't even really realize it until after you start working, and then all this stuff builds up, and you just literally wake up one day and you realize how much money you made and how successful you are. So also, if you're doing your own funding, which I get a lot of people from the credit repair side, that they got inquiries all over the place. And yes, you can go all over the place and get some money and get a little bit of money, but the problem is with your credit, when you do that, you just hit all those places with small amounts. And now, one, you can't go back there with the correct information and get more, and two, you got a small amount, and three, you have inquiries all over. So you put yourself in a corner. And it's like an attorney. Like, you have the best attorneys, and if an attorney gets in trouble, what do? The first thing they do, they hire who they think is the baddest attorney. Well, they're an attorney. Won't they represent themselves? Well, because they're smart. Smart people know that the best specialist is the best person for the job, because the person who's doing the most volume and specializing in this type of thing or whatever their specialty is, they keep seeing the same thing, bigger solutions to bigger problems, and they are better at it. That's why smart people hire the best. So even an attorney will hire the best attorney. Same with a doctor. He's not going to operate on himself, and even if he could, he wouldn't. He would get a better doctor. And attorneys know who's the best in the class or the best of the best. So, like, when you're just doing things on your own, or you're working on your car, not only that, you work on your car, you mow the lawn, or you clean the house, you do all these other things, you're getting fatigued and burnt out, because if you're focused on commercial real estate or what your skill is, and you bust out all this time and all this wasteful time, it's not going to get you anywhere, you're going to stay broke. And that's what school's doing, to brainwash everybody, to keep you not focused on what makes money and not what's going to make you rich and get you better off. Now, also, you can't be too prideful thinking that once you do have all the money and you do get success and all that it's not always you, because really you're getting blessed and the door's opening for you on purpose. So Gotta keep that in mind as well. And that's my biggest downfall. So I try not to do it, but man, it's hard at times. Because all sin really comes from pride. And pride is a real pain not to have. Try not to have it. But yeah, I want to help everybody. I want to get everybody to the next level and get you the skill and the confidence and the tools to do it. It's going to take a lot of work and may seem like you can't do it, but like every winner has had major failures. I mean, Michael Jordan, his high school coach, kicked him off, said he wasn't even good. I'm not even a sports fan, really, but like every single time, I mean, like that big setback is your biggest advantage. That's where you got to look at everything. So even if the deal doesn't work out, you use that information to get a better one. So what? Even if it took you a year, you're getting $500,000. Like worst case scenario, maybe 100. I don't even think it'd be that low, and it won't take a year. If you really focus, it's going to be pretty quick. Anyhow, that's baby motivation for today to get things done, get things going, and make things happen. And then you go out and do all the LOIs, and then when it gets to the point you want to hire me, or you want to just hire me now, and I'll get you guided in the right direction and help you. But you got to start doing it. Price doesn't really matter at this point. You can tell them full price, whatever. When we get the real numbers, then we can change the price or beat them up on the price. The trick is getting in at the right price, which we will, but that discussion comes at the right point. Right now, you got to get your foot in the door where they're going to cooperate with you and realize that you are a real buyer. And they're going to realize it real fast when you start coming back with them about real knowledge that other people don't even pick up on it, don't even understand, in the way you structure it. And then they're going to want to know, once you close it really fast, they're going to want to do a lot more business with you, because people out there in this business are not closing fast and they're not getting things done. So that's your key weapon. It's your key angle. So try that and get back to me.
Power, realize your power, finding out myself, power, realize your power, finding out myself. Go where you wanna go, do what you're gonna do what you wanna do, go where you wanna go. Get on with it, come on, get on with it, come on, get on with it, come on, get on with it. It's what I say, what I say. It's what I say, it's what I say, it's what I say, what I say. Get on with it, come on, get on with it. I go left, go right, live it up, dance all night. I go left, go right, live it up, dance all night. I go left, go right, live it up, dance all night. You're gonna be mine. Baby, you look so fine. Baby, you don't be mine. Baby, you look so fine. Baby, you're gonna be mine. Baby, you look so fine. Baby, you don't be mine. Baby, you look so fine. Go back, go back, get it up. It's all right. finding out myself. I go left, you go right, live it up, dance all night. I go left, you go right, live it up, dance all night. I go left, you go right, live it up, dance all night. I go left, you go right, live it up, dance all night. I go left, you go right, live it up, dance all night. I go left, you go right, live it up, dance all night. I go left, you go right, live it up, dance all night. I go left, you go right, live it up, dance all night. Power, realize your power, finding out myself, finding out myself. Power, realize your power, finding out myself, finding out myself.